Ande Vrindavanacharam, Pallavi Jana Vallabham, Jayanti Sambhavam Dhama, Vaijayanti Vibhushanam. Deva Stuti, yeah. Devas are all doing a stuti towards Narayana. He will appear later. So before that, I think we finished with the 48th shloka. So Namyasya Namataha Kshudran Varadasya Vararthinaha Putraif Pitrumataha Krida Kathante Kena Varnyate. Tava Leela tu Katham Varnyate Kena Purushena va Katham Kena Prakarena Varnyate Ityuktam Yataha Namyasya Kshudran Namataha. One who becomes Namyaha, at the same time, he is also a person who does namaskaram to others. He is the most worthy person to be offered, namaskaram. At the same time, he also has to, tattad avatareshu, if he is the subordinate to another person, vayah karanam eva tatra bhavet. So, and he is also doing namaskaram based on that a particular avatara, and he does the namaskaram to others also. Varadaha yaha, he gives varam to others. At the same time, he also goes and asks for varam from other people. That is also there. Putraihi pitrumataha. With his own sons, he becomes a person who has a father also. So both happens here. Actually, I think I talked about one very this thing in one shloka from second Sarga also. Okay, so the next one is Natavad Bhumika Bhedaihi Natha Divyan Prithak Vidaihi Pumsam Ananya Bhavanam Pushnasi Rasam Adbhutam. So this is for the Devas to say that you are capable of taking up so many different roles for the sake of your bhaktas. It's very easy for you, and you are able to increase that adbhuta rasam, because it's very surprising and wonderful to see the way you can take different parts and you play in this world. You also give that the rasam is more like a moksha. Rasa aswadahadu tatra brahma sukha brahmananda aswada samipam vartate. So this is very similar to Rasa aswada is very similar to brahmananda aswadaha. You give that brahmanandam for them in the form of all your stories also. That is why in Bhagavatam there is a constant emphasis on katha shravana. As you hear and as you are attracted towards that katha and the different leelas, automatically you will not want to listen to anything else, or whenever you get a time you want to go and listen to those beautiful stories, because you are attracted towards what he does in this world for the sake of his devotees. So Natavat, like an actor, Bhumika Bhedaihi, with different kinds of characters. Bhumika here is how an actor takes on a different role and then acts on the stage. Prithakvidaihi bhumika vedaihi he nata divyan natavat divyan. Divyati is one who plays. Kridati iti. Prithakvidaihi bhumika bhedaihi, with different kinds of different roles. So here prithak vidha is each role is different from the other. There is no stereotyping of roles here. There are some actors who just act in one kind of role, right? So that is quite stereotyping his way of acting. Tatha nasti atra. Prithakvidaihi, bhumika bedaihi, the characters which are portrayed in different manner also. Tadrishaihi divyan, natavata divyan, playing like a nata, an actor. Pumsam ananya bhavanam pumsam. Atra prayah pumsam ityapi bhavitavya. Ananya bhavanam pumsam adbhutam rasam pushnasi. So when an actor is able to portray different kinds of roles, a variety of roles, then you are amazed by the talent that is there with the actor. For a person who is like a total fan of this actor, Ananya Bhavaha. Anya Bhavaha Nasti Tasya. He is completely involved with this actor. He is a great super fan of this actor. And so every different role that he takes up increases the wonder in the person who looks at him. He is the fan is Ananya Bhava. He'll say nobody is like this person. That sort of a total super fan he is. Then every role that he plays actually increases the Adbhuta Rasam in the person who looks at him. Now apply it to Bhagavan. The same thing happens here. He also takes on different kinds of roles, that is avatars, starting from, Matsya Avataram or Varaha Avatara, Kurma Avatara, Vamana Avatara. Each one has a purpose, has a different form, different purpose. There may be an underlying purpose of Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya Cha Dushkritam iti asti. There is that underlying thing always. But then the kind of role he takes is different. The kind of disguise he puts on is different. The purpose with which he gets down for that avataram is also different. So, evam pritakvidaihi bhumika ityukte atra avatara bhedaihi. Okay, bhumika is chitranam. That's all, base or a character. So, he also takes on different kinds of avataras. And when he plays in this manner, Ananya Bhavanam Pumsam, for people who do not think about anything else other than Bhagavad Leela. Their mind is filled with Bhagavataha Leela. Their bhavam, their mind, chittam, is not involved in anything else but only you, Vishnu. So, Ananya Bhavanam Pumsam, Adbhutam Rasam Pushnasi, you are able to give moksha, because in Kapilopakyanam, Kapila Avatara describes, sage Kapila comes as the son of Devahuti and Kardama. Kardama leaves for Vanaprastham. He goes for moksha, meditation and everything. So Devahuti wants to know why he has gone, and so Kapila starts the advice. She is also very dejected with her life. She doesn't understand what she is doing. So he gives the advice for the path of moksha. So he talks for a couple of adhyayas in Bhagavatam, many different parts of yoga and that and this, everything. So after he leaves, after he finishes the advice, he says, you follow the path that I have told you and continue. You will automatically reach the goal. And Kapila leaves. Kapila is her son, Devahuti's son. Everything else she understood beautifully, intellectually. She perceives the entire path that she has to follow in a clarity, and she also does not want to think of the big sukhams that she has, the luxuries that she has experienced. All of that seem very, very trivial for her. So she lets go of that. But there is just this factor of Kapila leaving her. It's her son, right? Because it's her son who has left, she is constantly thinking about her son. It also happens that the son is Ishvara Bhuta. So putrataya na chintayati. She doesn't think of Kapila as her son, but Ishvara Bhutaha saha iti manasi kritva. She thinks of him as Ishvara and constantly is in that bhava, ananya bhava. Adha. Not only pumsam iti atra na kevalam puman iti striva iti. It can be common for anybody here. Gopikas were also like that. Tanmanaska, tadalapaha, tadvicheshtaha. They were constantly thinking about Krishna there. So Ananya Bhavana, and she was pushed within few hours, days, whatever it may be. That count is not achirena iva kalena ityeva uktam. And immediately she attained that moksha state because she was thinking about her son. Apatyam chintayanti dhyayati eva iti. And she reached the moksha state. That is this adbhutam rasam. Apavarga anandam. Huh? Idella okay, but the devas ultimately they want their purpose done, which is dushta nigraham. So they're not here for that moksha or anything, but they say if people who think about you are capable of, getting even moksha. So what to say of this Kamsa and other Bhumi Bhara Bhutaha, Bhubhara Bhutaha? It is very easy for you to destroy them. That's also another way of looking at this. Okay.
Has he ever played in that role? It's always a hero role, right? He has never played any anti-hero role in anywhere, right?
Sakshat avatarattvena illa. No.
Sakshat avaratana illa, where any other place?
He is everything else.
Correct.
Sayeva Vishnu Sarvatra, avladanga. Then he is the hero, he is the anti-hero also in that aspect.
Okay.
Pratipadartham, padikirala, yaravadu?
Mहोदय. हे नाथ हे प्रभो नटवत नटेन तुल्यम.
Vat is a pratyaya that you add to mean tulyam.
Iva.
Vati, iva.
Pratak vidaihi bahu prakaraihi.
One second. Iva chonnadu is right for meaning sense, but the actual of word formation is with tritiya and tulyartha. When you have tulyam, you have to use tritiya there. Natena tulyam vartate. Whereas if you use iva, you can say nataha iva. Iti prathama vibhakti. Yatha nataha karoti tatha, or nataha iva karoti. But you have to say tulyam, then you say natena tulyam karyam karoti.
And then use tritiya. Okay. Prithak vidaihi bahu prakaraihi. It is different ways. Bhumika bhedaihi, with different characters. Matsya Kurmadi avatara bhedaihi. Divyanna Kridan Shatru Pratyaya. Ananya Bhavanam Pumsam. Kevalam Tvat Asakta Chittanam Jananam. One who people who always contemplate
whose minds are completely attached to you. Saktana, it is attached in Artha.
And nothing else. Adu mattum. Adbhutam Ashcharyakaram. Rasam Apavarganandam. What is Apavarganandam?
Apavarga is moksha. What is the Purushartha? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Varga Trayam Garche, Dharma, Artha, Kama is called Trivarga. It is classified, classification of three Purusharthas together is called Trivarga. It's like a name. Something that is beyond this Varga, Apa Vargam, that cannot come into these three is called Moksha. So Apavarga is Moksha.
Okay. Apavarganand. Okay. So the Brahmanandam solra madri.
Adeda mokshasya anandameva. Pushnasi.
Pushnasi abhivyanjayasi. Pushnasi yukte poshnam karoshi va?
Yes. So you're nurturing that feeling vardhayasi iti. Or here you can, when he translates it, he says abhivyanjayasi, you manifest it in that person, in the minds of those people who do not think about anything else.
Bhavaha nato yatha ramadi bahuvida bhumika madaya samajikanam adbhutam rasam pushnati. Just like how the actor nourishes or provides the adbhutam rasam to the spectators by taking on different roles. Tatha tvat avatara rahasyanu chintana parana moksha pradanena yojayasi iti bhavaha. You provide the adbhutam rasam by granting moksham to those who contemplate on your avatara rahasyam.
Yes. Okay. Tava avatara rahasyasya anuchintane paraha saktaha. Those who are involved in thinking constantly about the avatara rahasya. Okay. विशेषाः
सामाजिकानां षष्टि बहुवचनं
सामाजिकानां चित्ते मनसि और सामाजिकानां कृते for them you can take it in any manner. Because you can't say samajikanam rasam eppadi vera enna vibhakti poduva. So that's why you have this sutram called sashti sheshe, where if there is no possibility of sampradanam or apadanam or any other karta karanam, all of these, then shashti will come.
We can't say samajikebhyah chaturthi
varadilla.
Sampradanam vandu kashtamaache. It is konjam
Pushnasti is it's not dadas.
அந்த மாதிரி இல்ல. The swamitvam transferring does not happen there.
Okay.
He doesn't have the rasam with him and he gives it to another person. So, yeah. That sort of a giving should be there. Appada you can have fourth case. Or in a way you can have samajikanam manamsi ranjayitum whatever. It will be too complicated. I was trying
it's not like he's not giving something. It's basically bringing out what is already existing within them.
Ade exactly. Anya bhavana
विशेषाः नास्ति अन्यः विषयत्वेन यस्य सः अनन्यः. अनन्यः भावः येषां ते अनन्यभावाः, न अन्यभावाः अनन्यभावाः.
Okay.
अलङ्कारः भगवतो नटसादृश्यवर्णनात् उपमालङ्कारः.
So it's just straightforward upama alankaram without any slesha or anything. Everything just fits directly. You don't need to go into two meanings here. So it's
They're
just
comparing him to the nata.
So natavad bhumi bhedaihi natha divyan prithagvidaihi pumsam ananya bhavanam pushnasi rasamadbhutam. The next one, brahmadi stamba paryanta vichitrankurashalinam salilam karmakandanam kridaiva tava kevalam. Tava krida eva karmakandanam salilam bhavati. Your leela is the basis for karma, for anything. Karma kandanam, for a tree to grow you have to pour water at the roots, right? So kanda, let's say kanda is like a sasyam, or you can say moolam. It can either be crops or tubers, any kind of crop. Just take it as kanda is some kind of a crop. Okay, for that to grow you need salilam, right? So if it grows, for it to grow it needs water for it to grow into a ankura, for it to grow into a sprout. So let's say you have a potato, you have to constantly give water also, and then from there the ankuram comes in. Now he compares the creation of this world to this small incident of how a sprout comes out of a bijam or a moolam or a root. Usually first root varum apra sprout varum. It's for some cases that's this thing, right? Even adukada kanda is more like potato and things which will first root out and then only the sprout comes. Now brahmadi stamba paryanta vichitra ankura shalinam karmakandanam. Here karma becomes the acting agent for every living being in this world to act. If brahma chaturmukha brahmadi stamba paryantam. Stamba, make a note of the ba here. This is not stambha iti nasti. It is only stamba. Stamba is a kind of grass. So starting from satyaloke brahma yaha vidyate tasmad arabhya stamba kaschana trinavishesha paryantam, everything else vichitra ankura shalinam, each one of those keep growing into different it grows in its own manner, right? You think of a grass, or even Brahma, each one needs its own bio ecosystem, whatever, for it, biosphere, for it to grow. Right? It needs a specific kind of water, specific kind of soil, specific kind of whatever, and then actions. Why does this particular living being go through this particular action, course of action in his life? All of those is determined by karma. So karmani eva kandaha or moolam yesham tesham ankurashalina. So karmakandanam is an adjective for this brahmadi stamba paryanta vichitra ankurashalinam. So those beings, let's say here, take it as prani, all of those bhutas, all of those beings which are capable of bringing forth different kind of ankuras, that is sprouts. They can sprout into various kind of things, right? Those for the crops which have karma as the basis and which is capable of manifesting, starting from Brahma to Stamba, any kind of bhutas. What becomes the basis for it? Tava krida eva salilam bhavati. Only your krida, your leela becomes the salilam. இது எதுக்குன்னா இதுல ரொம்ப அழகா அவர் போட்டிருப்பார். No, I just want to read this paragraph so that we understand what is there in the, suddenly இது ஏதோ வந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். இல்ல, it's not like that. அவதாரே பகவஹ முஹ்யந்தஹ அவஜானந்தஹ asuraprayaha bhavanti patanti. So many people who read the avatars and everything, they could be asuras. They can take on, we see that there are many asuras in the Bhagavad Leela also. Bhagavate santi. Ipa keta madri anti-heroes are there, right? So why are they anti-heroes? Why are there heroes? Why are some people like this? So there seems to be a partiality in this. This is called Vaishamya Nairghrinyam. Vaishamya is in being partial. Nairghrinyam is being cruel. Being unnecessarily cruel to certain people. We ask, why did I get this sort of this thing? We go through certain phases in our life when we think that we don't deserve to be treated like this in this world. But then the moolam for all of that is karma. And why each of these karma come to this particular person? What is the adi karma that we did? Adallam vandu why all of this came about? Orre reason da. Tavakrida. It is only your leela which pushed everybody into this. Ankuranam kandavat. Just as how sprouts have a kandam. Kanda is moolam. Jagad vaichitriyasya tattat karmayeva mukhyam karanam. So jagat vichitrataya brahmadi stamba paryantam vichitraha ankuraha santi. In this world there are different kinds of sprouts, that is different kinds of bhutas, right? Pranis. There are so many different kinds of people here. What is the moolam for all of them? Jagad vaichitriyasya tattat karma eva mukhyam karanam bhavati. So karma kanda salilavat sadharana karanam bhagavan. So Bhagavan becomes the common reason for everybody, and in what manner he becomes the common reason is he just feels like playing, so he is playing. That's all. Enna pallam silar ullam ena,
that is like why some people are hero, why some people are not. That one.
Okay. படைத்தான் ஆண்டவன், அவ்வளவுதான். படைத்தான், that's it. He has made this thing here. The only thing that we can do is try to get out of this in some way or the other by thinking about his leela. அவ்வளவுதான். பிரதிபதார்த்தம் போலாமா? As we read, we'll understand it much better. சங்கரி படிக்கிறீங்களா?
अन्वय हे नाथ नटवद पृथग्विदय.
இல்ல இது பிரம்மாதி ஸ்தம்ப பர்யந்தம் 50.
ब्रह्मादि स्तंभ पर्यंत विचित्रांकुरशालिनां कर्मकंदानां सलिलं केवलं तव क्रीडा एव. प्रतिपदार्थः ब्रह्मादि स्तंभपर्यंत विचित्रांकुरशालिनां ब्रह्मा चतुर्मुखः आदिः स्तंभः तृणविशेषः पर्यन्तः उत्तरावधिः येषां ते ब्रह्मादि स्तंभ
Arambha Adihi is the first starting, and Uttara Avadihi, the final limit, the final ending point is called Uttara Avadhi.
That is not Bahuvrihi, right? That doesn't feel right as Bahuvrihi. Brahmadi stambha paryantaha yesham te brahmadi stambha paryantaha.
Brahma eva adihi brahmadihi stambha eva paryantaha stambha paryantaha. So brahmadihi stambha paryantaha yesham te praninaha. It goes as you will have to understand prani there.
So that is Bahuvrihi only then.
Yes, here it becomes Bahuvrihi. Or also Brahma adihi Brahmadihi. Yeshamte. It is actually going to Yeshamte only.
Correct. Okay. Bahuvrihi. Sarve praninah te eva vichitrankuraha prathamavasthagata trina visheshaha tatchalinam tadgatam.
So prathama avastha is the first starting point. Avastha is state, condition, the first portion.
The reason for the birth.
Vichitra ankurahangre. These are all the
Vichitra ankura is also birth for that plant, right?
Correct, birth. Yes, seri. Okay.
Tatchalinam tadvatam karmakandanam karmanyeva punya papa rupani kandaha sasyamulani yesham tesham salilam stechana dravyam.
Sasyana crop.
Mulai.
General crop. Ankurana mola.
Okay.
Sasya is general pairu.
Okay.
Shalinam na enna mode? Shalinam. Ankura.
Those which has that.
Okay.
Those which
like that Ankurashali.
Oh, okay.
So, adadu karma is like the basis which has the avladha tadshali tadasya asti iti ityartha avladha. அதை வைத்துக் கொண்டிருப்பவைகள் எதுவோ கர்மா. புரியுதா?
तव क्रीडैव ते क्रीडा मात्रमेव भावः त्वत् क्रीडा रूप सलिल सिक्ता एव कर्मकन्दाः विचित्र प्रापंच रूपाम् अंकुरान् जनयन्ति.
See, for the jagat to manifest into this huge brahmandam, including all of these bhutarashis, what is the basis there? Karma. But karma on its own cannot give out this manifestation of all the beings. For it to give this, for it to manifest all of these things, you need water. We know, all of us know that this potato is capable of giving out sprouts. But we keep it in the fridge, nothing is going to happen to it. We have to give it that proper condition. Put it in that soil and water, then it will start sprouting. But we know that that potato is the source, like karma, which is capable of manifesting all this. Yeah.
So this is like the nimitta karanam. So all these there, karma is all nimitta karanam, but Bhagavad Krida is that is a mukhya karanam.
Actually, அது வந்து கர்மா நிமித்த காரணம்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. ஆமா, கர்மா நிமித்த காரணம் தான். Correct.
Then Bhagavad Krida is what karanam?
Bhagavad Krida is also nimitta karanam only. The upadana karanam, material cause from where this entire world is manifested, is Bhagavan himself. Adhan krida atulikaya swasminneva swayam utpadayati. Okay. Abhinna, அதுக்கு வந்து எப்படி சொல்லுவோம்னா, வேதாந்த அத்வைத வேதாந்தத்துல we say abhinna nimittopadanam. Nimitta and upadana are abhinnam. They are non-different. Which means both the nimitta karanam and upadana karanam is Bhagavan himself. That's it. Adu Advaita Vedantathil.
Alankaraha. Bhagavad Kridayam Salilatva Aropasya Prapanchankura Janana Lakshana Krita Karyopayogatva
Lakshana Krita. அந்த லக்ஷணா சொன்னேன்னா அது வேற term. Okay? Yeah.
Lakshana krita karya upayogitvat parinama alankarah.
We've read Parinama Alankara before, right?
We have read it.
So what is that? Aropaha tu atra krida upayogi bhavitavyaha. So when we say that krida is water, why are we doing that? Because water is only capable of creating ankuram. It becomes prapancha ankura janana. Prapanchaha eva ankuraha. Prapanchasya ankuratva janane upayogi bhavati. I am aropaha. Then it's called Parinama
The
Alankara.
non-contextual thing is being introduced here for some purpose. That is the prapancha ankura janana lakshana.
Yes, ankura jananam. So what we have to do is prapancha ankura jananam cannot happen with just krida. It can ankuram cannot come out because I am playing. Ankuram can come out only with water. So I am saying that Bhagavad Krida is like a water for creating the ankuram. So it becomes useful for an action. Then it's called Parinama Alankara.
Parinama Alankara. Such a Brahmadi Stamba Paryanta Vichitra Ankura Ityadi Rupaka Alankarena Anupranitaha. So there is also Rupaka Alankaram which is helping or aiding that Parinama
Alankara. The other Rupakam here is Brahmadi Stamba Paryanta is all of these beings are like different kinds of ankuram, sprouts. So there is an Rupakam there. Okay. They're clear?
Yes.
Brahmadi Stamba Paryanta Vichitrankurajalinam Salilam Karmakandanam Kridaiva Tava Kevalam. Niradhara Nijasthemnaha Nirupadhika Sheshinaha Nirapeksha Niyantuhu Te Nissima Abhyadikaha Gunaha. Niradhara Nijasthemnaha. One who's we have read these concepts before also, but he's just phrasing it in a different way. There is no dosham in Bhagavan's creation. Everything is a leela that he has done. There is no vaishamyam also. There is no disparity in the way he has created things because he uses karma as the source for it and his krida becomes the watering agent there. Then how is he? Why? How can he be capable of all of these things? Niradhara nijasthemnaha gunaha, because he has so many different gunas, which has nobody equal to it, nor are there gunas which are more than that. So te gunaha, the main sentence here is te gunaha tu nissama abhyadikaha santi. Your qualities. So we in Vishishtadvaita they say Ananta Kalyana Gunaha Santi Bhagavati. So there are so many Kalyana Guna. There are all of those qualities in Bhagavan are auspicious qualities in him. And how are those qualities? Nissama Abhyadikaha. Samana Adhika Varjita nilla. Viltasasnamatla Ata. Samana Adhika Varjita. So atrapi sama abhyadika varjita ka badala nissama. So nirgatam. So all there is no sama gunaha api nasti. Abhyadika etasmad adhikaha gunaha api etebhyaha adhikaha gunaha na santi. Tasmad asya Vishnoho gunaha nissamabhyadikaha gunaha. How is he? He has three adjectives here. For his sustenance, he doesn't need another adhara. Niradhara nijasthema. Sthema is sthiratvam, sthiryam, sthema. So I think I told you about how we can have different kinds of pratyayas for expressing the bhava, the ness, cold, let's say heat, lightness, and the madrila. And the ness போட்டு நம்ம சொல்லணும்னா பாவம்னு சொல்றோம். தன்மையின் தமிழ்ல குளுமையாக இருக்கும் தன்மை. அதுக்கு we use certain pratyayas like sundarasya bhavaha sundaratvam, sundarata, saundaryam. இதெல்லாம் we have been seeing from parichaya here. There is also another pratyaya called imanich pratyaya which we use. Like madhurima, Soundaralari Slokatla, madhu kshira draksha madhurima Dhurinaha Phanitayahan varu. Madhurima is Madhurima. Imanich pratyayam potu. We say that it is the quality, the sweetness in it. The same way here also sthirata, the quality of being solid. Solidity, one madrilan solronla, adada. So sthemnahangarada sthairyam. Niradhara nija sthemnaha. Nija sthema yatu vartate tasya kidrisha. So how can he be firm in some place? If we are all firmly standing on this bhumi, there is gravity which is keeping us stable in this place. If we are put in a place where there is no gravity, we will be floating around without any sthyrium to our body. So for Bhagavan to be present, does he need something adharam there? He doesn't need anything. Nijas temnaha adharatvena kimapi anyat vastu na apekshyate. So he does not expect any other object for him to be firm. If this computer has to stay somewhere, we need a table for an adhara. That way, he does not need an adhara. Nirupadhika sheshinaha. So, Swabhavadeva, I'll just go over the Pratipadartha also to just understand how he brings out the meaning. Adhara, Nirapeksha, Sthiryavan. So, Sthairyavataha te tava. So, it's an adjective to te, which is in Shashti Vibhakti. So, every one of this word is in Shashti Vibhakti also. Sthema, Sthemano, Sthemanaha, Sthemanam. So, Shashti Vibhakti will be Sthemnaha. Adhara, Nirapeksha, Sthirya. He has a Sthiryam. He is firm without expecting any base. Nirupadhika sheshinaha swabhavadeva sakala jagat pradhanasya shesha sheshi. This concept is there, seen before also. Even I think I have said that in Raghuvamsha also. So shesha is rest, everything else remaining. Sheshi is a person who has all of these things. So it is like a part and a whole. So Sheshaha are parts. Sheshaha. Sheshi is only one person who is the whole. That is, he is the person who completes everybody. We are all the rest. So Viṣṇu and the rest. So Viṣṇu is Sheshi and the rest. We are all Sheshas. For us to exist, we are all parts because we are part of him. This is the Vishishtadvaita concept. So, but for him, he is not part of anything because he is the one who has the parts, Sheshi, because he is the Pradhana Bhutam. When we say flower and its parts, petal, each one of those are Sheshas, but those make up that flower completely. So he is like the flower for which others are all like the parts. So nirupadhika, there is another word here, upadhi. Upadhi upadhi is a limiting adjunct. If we take, let's say, he does not have any limiting adjunct for him. For example, vastu paricheda, deha paricheda, the desha paricheda or kala paricheda is not present for him. Saha nirupadhikataya. Upadhi nale confining factors or limiting adjunct. When I talk about myself, if I have to say who I am as such, I will have to say I am a person who existed from this particular year to this particular year. There is a time period which separates me from other people. I have lived in this place, in this place, in this place. There is a desha, or I can only occupy this much of space. So which means I am confined by the space where I exist. So there is a desha paricheda. There is an I and there is something else also beyond me. This is desha parichedam, and there is a vastu paricheda, kala paricheda. Vastu paricheda nalo deshangardu cities, right? At one point, at any given point, I can only exist in one particular space. Whereas Bhagavan exists in everywhere. Vibhuhu saha. There is no confining, limiting agents for him. And because he is present everywhere, the world is present in him. Adhan, the concept of Sheshi. Because he is present everywhere, Sarvabhyapi saha, and Sarva Kaleshu api vartate. So he existed even when the Jagat was not present before, it was not created. He also exists when the Jagat will completely merge in him. So Swabhavadeva Sakala Jagataha Pradhana Bhutaha Sayeva. So he becomes the most important part of this entire, more important whole in this world. Nirapeksha Niyantuhu. Sahakari Sahakarya Antara Nairapekshena Jagan Niyantuhu. Apo, for this Jagat to exist in him, say that all of us are parts and he is the whole, which means he needs something to create this world. And he, or he needs somebody to delegation, right? He needs a whole cabinet minister and other small Jilla, MLA, that this, everything. He might probably need all those. No, he doesn't need any of those people for him to rule this world. Upadhi is limiting factor. Nirapeksha Niyanta. Niyanta, he is a controller, inner controller of this entire world. Jaganniyanta, but without expecting another person to help him do all these things. So Sahakaryantara, Deshantara Madri, Anyaha Deshaha, Deshantaram, Anyat Nama, Namantaram, Tatha Anyaha Sahakari, Sahakaryantaram. Another Sahakari, another helper. He doesn't need anybody to help him to take care of this world and control this world. Tadrishasya tava gunaha. So imagine the amount of gunas that he has to have. Sarvagnaha, Sarvavit, all of these adjectives are there. Sarvashaktiman, all of these adjectives are given to him because he has to do so much of work here. He is the controller of the entire world. In him, all of these, this Jagat stays, and he does not need to depend on another person for his staying. He is of such a great caliber. Tadrishasya tava gunaha tu kidrisha vartante. Nissamabhyadikaha eva. There is no samam, there is no adhikam beyond the qualities that are present. So he is like the epitome of all of the qualities that you can see. Is clear?
Madhya, that Vastu Paricheda, is it like the Tavadeha, like that? What is that?
So Vastu, ipa na and outline potu vekkarella. Who am I? Yeah, okay, let's take this computer. There is an outline for it that you can draw. It cannot exist beyond this shariram.
So that, okay, so it is the shariram for the people. Okay. Or
and it is also different from a book. The computer is different from a book. I am different from my child. There is what is the difference that we say? It is this confining Vastu outline that we use to define the difference between one and another. Tatha, we can't have a framework for him and put him inside a picture.
Correct.
அந்த மாதிரி பகவானுக்கு கிடையாது. என்ன கட் பண்ணி ஒட்டவா முடியும் அவ்வளவு உள்ள இல்லையே. So he is of everybody. அதுதான் சர்வாத்ம பாவம்ங்கிறத காமிக்கிறது. எல்லாமாகவும் அவனே. So பாவார்த்தா இது யாராவது படிக்கிறீங்களா? பாவா அண்ட் அலங்காரம். சங்கரி நீங்க முடிச்சிருங்க. இல்ல
भावः आधार
अलंकारम
स्वादि
आधार नैरपेक्ष्येन स्थिरत्वं स्वाभावादेव सकलजगत्प्रधानभूतत्वं सहकारिणः अपेक्षां विना एव जगन्नियन्तृत्वम् इत्यादि भगवतः कल्याणगुणाः समाभ्यधिकरहिताः.
So ityadayah bhagavatah kalyan. So what he does is, these three were the adjectives for te. Now he has totally changed it into the gunam. Why are they the adjectives of Bhagavan? Because he is trying to show the particular quality in Bhagavan. So now in the Bhavartha, he has changed all of those into a quality here as gunas. So adhara nairapekshena sthiratvam is a guna for him. The fact that he can be firm without any support. is a quality in Bhagavan. Yeah. Swabhavadeva sakala jagat pradhana bhutatvam. By nature, he is the most important section, the quality of being the most important part in this entire world, or this most important factor in this entire world. In a part in Solita, the whole point of Sheshi is gone.
Sahakarinah apeksham vina eva jagan niyantritvam. Without any help, he is
the quality of being able to control the entire world. That ityadi kalyana guna. Okay.
Alankaraha loke bhudharanam stitihi adhara sapeksha bhrityadi.
So he is trying to show the difference between normal people and Bhagavan. So it is a Vyatireka Alankara Dvani. In this Sloka, there is no mention of any normal person at all. But this brings us to the mind that he seems to be very different from you and I. So what are the things that we see in this world as the most steady thing? A mountain, nothing can happen to a mountain. But even for that mountain, there is an adhara, bhumihi. Loke, bhudharanam stitihi adhara sapeksha. The firmness of mountains seem to depend on a support in this world.
Bhrityadina prati rajnyaha swamitvam bhutidhanadi prayuktam.
So the swamitvam, being an overlord of everybody, Bhrityadin prati, towards all those servants, a king can have a supremacy over them only by giving them, something in exchange. Only you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Appadithaan people are in this world. There are very few people who do things voluntarily, but then that swamitvam, even if you do charity or donation, still you cannot expect to rule over them. How can you bring people under your control? You can do that only by being useful to them in some way, as in you give them some kind of bhuti na selvam. Wealth. By giving wealth and etc., you are trying to bring them under your control. That is what a Raja does. But Bhagavan need not do all these things.
Even bhuti is not be just like money and all, right? It can be even in the form of love, karuna and all that.
Adu illa. Actually, bhuti ingaradu selvam. Some kind of wealth. In kind or in money.
Okay.
Of course, the quality of the king matters for them also to feel that. Anna, the word bhritya here is not a sevaka. Sevakaha is someone who does seva, worship. He does not expect anything in return. Bhrityaha is a person who expects to be
compensated for his services.
Compensated, taken care of. Rajnyaha
Rajyadi niyantritvam api amatyadi prakriti sapeksham.
So the factor that a king can control this entire kingdom also depends on his amatya and prakriti, on his ministers.
Bhagavatastu स्थैर्यादिकमनीदृशम् इति व्यतिरेकालङ्कारध्वनिः.
Bhagavataha tu, for Bhagavan, स्थैर्यादिकम, all of these qualities, anidrisham, they are not like how they have mentioned earlier. So, but this is only suggested. So there is this vyatireka, this difference between normal people and Bhagavan, that is called vyatireka, which is dhvani.
Tacha vyajyamanaha nissamabhyadhikatvasya vachyasya siddhau angamiti vachyasiddhyangam iti gunibhuta vyanga bhedaha.
Now, how do we know this vyatireka? If it is suggested, it is only because he is like this, because he doesn't have to depend on everybody. Those gunas, there is nothing equal to those gunas, nor is there something that supersedes those gunas. So the vyangyartha is needed to say this vachyartha. Otherwise, it will not, we cannot substantiate that vachyartha. So it is a gunibhuta vyangyam, not a dhvani kavya. Okay, gunibhutam is the vyangyartha becomes a little lesser in beauty than the vachyartha. No, not exactly lesser in beauty, but it is needed for me to substantiate the vachyartha.
Like apradhanam.
Actually apradhanam illa. And yeah, it is apradhanam, but at the same time, it is also beautiful here. It's a little bit better than normal shlokas where there is no vyangyam at all, or where the vyangyam is not at all beautiful. Here the vyangyam is beautiful, but at the same time, it is not the most important thing. The pradhanam becomes the vachyam. Correct. And the vyangya becomes an angam for the vachya. Clear?
So angam is this thing, and what is the angi then?
Angi is your nissamabhyadikaha gunaha ityeva angi bhavati. The vachyam becomes the angi. Because that becomes the pradhanam here. It becomes more beautiful also. Adnal. Niradhara nijastemno nirupadhika sheshinaha nirapekshaniyantuste nissamabhyadika gunaha. Okay. Vande Vrindavanacharam Mallavi Janavallabham Jayanti Sambham Dhama Vaijayanti Vibhushanam.